harapkan bisa mempersulit lini pertahanan dari Barcelona meskipun itu adalah sesuatu yang sangat-sangat sulit.
Betul. Ya, Vermaelen kembali disorot, akhirnya diturunkan. Pemain bisa dibilang pemain yang paling santai sepanjang musim.
Betul, dan duetnya apakah itu dengan Umtiti ataupun Pique juga sering aman-aman saja bagi Barcelona.
Ya, dan kick off babak yang kedua sudah dimulai. Kami mengucapkan selamat menyaksikan.
Now at 2-0 down to Messi, it looks like a reach, but with Bobo coming on, it just emphasises what you and I both admire about Leganes, not tonight, but how they've been built over the seasons and how they've played this season in particular.
Claudio Bervo then, the striker from Guadalupe, as Graham said, their top scorer. On loan from Celta, he's replaced Nordin Amrabat, who worked hard in the first half up front. And well, let's see if Leganes can get back into it. Just adding to what you mentioned, Graham, about how well the club is run. Again, for our viewers around the world, their marketing department is absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
They're funny, they're clever, they understand the character of the club, the region. It's a place, we call it Madrid, it's just outside Madrid. They understand the character of the fans, and they represent that well. It's something that you're proud to be part of, you're proud to see. It does La Liga, locally in Spain, good, and around the world, good. It's a club of character, fun, intention. It's a club that I definitely admire.
Yeah, you're certainly not going to be able to compete with Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid for fans, but you go to the Butarque, they create a fantastic atmosphere every couple of weeks there, and prove to be a very hard team to beat. Meanwhile, Barcelona administering their 2-0 win, attacking the goal to the left of your screens. Here's Andre Gomez, and he picks out Dembele. Now Leo Messi. Dembele again, returning it to Messi again. We see that insistence on giving the ball to the boss, don't we, from Dembele?
We do, and
it's not always the right choice.
Well, Semedo was right. I know what you're hinting at, and thank you for the setup. Semedo was running clear right. If Dembele had the confidence to say, okay, not this time to Messi, I'm going to turn and swivel and give it to the overlapping Portuguese, it would have been a better move. And Messi, I'm not calling it down a blind alley this time, but robbed, and Dembele probably this time didn't make the right choice.
Rakitic holding on to that, winning the free kick as he feels the shirt being tugged by Erasa.
Am I allowed to say it again? Rakitic. Right place, right actions, right effort. Filling in for Busquets. Busquets being absent didn't matter. When it does, it does. The Croatian has had a season to be proud of, match after match, despite tiredness, exceptional. I go back to the fact that away games in Dallas, in that part of America last week, leave you with jet lag, leave you tired when you're already physically, mentally tired, and he's not showing it.
Suarez trying a spectacular looking ball to Sergio Roberto. It didn't come off, and the ball bounces through to Pichuquea.
And who gave it to him was the Portuguese Gomez. Second nice touch, intelligent touch of the 3 minutes we've had of the second half. And the graphics told us at halftime that the evidence of our eyes were right, and they could support it by saying the fastest player on the pitch on average for Football Club Barcelona was Andre Gomez.
I was going to say, you mentioned Rakitic substituting or doing the job of Busquets and how difficult that is. Here's Gomez again, this time just taking one man too many. Suarez feeling he might have been fouled there as Elzar plays this one inside. Elzar again whips the cross in, and that's the first opportunity for Claudio Bervo, and just missing the target, not by too far though, and food for thought for Barcelona and Ernesto Valverde. If they ever thought it was going to be a walk in the park this second half, which I'm sure they didn't think for a second, there's a sign that Leganes are going to keep putting them under pressure.
Tonight's Bob, a learning lesson for Semedo, who initially is in the right place, but doesn't react to Bervo just nicking behind him, judging the flight of the ball better, and therefore getting the header in. Not a blatant error from the Portuguese, but one to learn from.
There's Suarez. Fell nicely from Siovas with a firm right foot, winning it back. Put over the top for Bervo. He can't bring it under control. Vermaelen finding Rakitic. Rakitic threading that ball through to Leo Messi. Messi with the goal inside, plays it wide to Dembele. And it's brilliantly defended in the end by Raul Garcia. Dembele, I think, was trying to make a little dummy over him, but in the end, Garcia getting a foot to it. It's a corner for Barcelona. Thomas Vermaelen moving up. Hats off to him as well. He's replacing Umtiti today and hasn't put a foot wrong. Chase back for Coutinho. Still Coutinho. Spies a little run from Dembele. Just overhits the pass though. It'll be a goal kick. I was going to mention, as to continue with your train of thought from earlier, referring to Rakitic, Vermaelen hasn't put a foot wrong. Sergio Roberto playing at left back like he's been playing there all his life. But also Andre Gomez, you mentioned in terms of the effort of his first half performance. He's taking correct decisions as well when he's got the ball in his control.
I think when you talk about the mental aspect of sport, all of us know that you can be motivated to give something extra if it's a big game. If you absolutely trust the discourse of your coach, he can inspire you. The other side of that is when you're playing with brakes on, and that's a phrase that... There we go.
Well, one thing you're not allowed to do in the Camp Nou is a challenge like that on Leo Messi. It's Siovas again. We felt he was lucky not to see that yellow card in the first half.
Yeah.
And we also said a challenge like that in the second half is a yellow card challenge.
You said it, not me, and it was spot on. Absolutely. Well, also we said that the referee had that listening device in the back of his trousers so that he could hear our commentary. Now, I think that's been proven, but the Greek hasn't really learned from what cost him a goal in the first half because the ball was never in reach. It's not a challenge, I think, which is outright badness to try and do damage, which makes it, lumbering, cumbersome, slow, and stupid. He's on a booking now. Very difficult to stay that way for the rest of the match.
Brilliant challenge from Thomas Vermaelen, and the Camp Nou acknowledges it. It was a lovely bit of play by Arasso to try and set Beauvau through. Brilliantly defended by the Belgian. Here's Rakitic. Leo Messi. Arasso just stayed off him a little bit there where maybe thought he had a chance to get in, but it's Leo Messi, so you back off instead of going for it, I think. There's one back by Elzar firmly, play waved on. And it's Semedo who is there to interrupt Leganes' progress. Coutinho trying a little bit of magical footwork there. Play on, no, the free kick given. It's a kind of joint challenge by Piqué and Andre Gomez. Gomez with the foul clearly on Zaldua. Free kick quickly taken. Cross whipped in again towards Beauvau, who's proved to be quite a threat, hasn't he, in these first 6 or 7 minutes?
He definitely has, but if you look at the way that Vermaelen knows that he's not going to get his head to that first, but he goes absolutely shoulder to shoulder. Let's see now. Ball set through. Fabulous tackle. The Belgian always said that all he needed to do was to be fit in order to fit in at this club. I interviewed him and he said, we play the system that I was always taught at Ajax. I'm perfect for this once I'm fit.
Yeah, had a rotten time with things over the first 2 seasons. Dembele trying to link up there with Suarez. Suarez gesticulating towards the relative newcomer. Here's Rakitic. Andre Gomez. Sergio Roberto. Again cutting inside. Finally Suarez. It looks for the return ball first time. Siovas comes to Rakitic. There's Arasso. Elzar. Rakitic is with him. Elzar almost did well. Gomez, neat little skill. Again, applause for the Portuguese. It looks as though things have changed. The relationship between Andre Gomez and the Camp Nou faithful. Arasso is Omar Ramos. Intercepted there by Sergio Roberto. Coutinho sprinting out. A pullback. That'll be a free kick, and that'll be the second yellow card for Leganes.
I'll pick up on, you say, the train of thought about Gomez. Yeah, the relationship is changing, but it almost changed from the day that we were commentating on the Atleti game, because when he came on, the crowd chanted his name, applauded, because there was not just sympathy, there was understanding. When they looked at him and thought, is he a shirker? There were muttering and groaning and all this kind of stuff. When they understand there's a problem, they say, okay, we'll do what we can to get behind you. What's accelerating the relationship is, as you pointed out, time and time again he is making the right decisions and challenges. but he's working for them that little millimetre more because he believes he can get there. The brakes that were on him, the mental, psychological brakes that he was playing with, are now off at least. Time for him to grow.
Gabriel, the Leganes captain, has picked up a yellow card. He'll miss their next game. The ball falling here for Elzar, and that is the second time Elzar has put a wild pass nowhere near the teammate he's trying to link up with.
And he's nowhere near treating it as seriously as he should be. I mean, that might be a sort of self-reproaching grin he's got on his face, but he better hope that Garitano couldn't see it from his vantage point, otherwise there'll be words about that reaction to his awful pass, that full-time win, lose or draw.
Leo Messi over the top for Dembele to chase. Will he get there? Yes, he will. Siof has two. Lovely touch though from Dembele. Is he brought over? The fans think so. The referee's unmoved. Will be a throw to Barcelona. That one impossible for Bovo to control.
I'll say this about Dembele, Simon. He's 20. He's naturally slender. It's mid-season. They cannot work on a bodybuilding course. But when you see him again in July, August, he'll be carrying 4-5 extra kilos of top body muscle. Absolutely count on it.
Coutinho winning a free kick there. Grimacing in pain. The kick quickly taken. There's Messi. Gomez. Again, controlling it nicely. Finding Coutinho. Just couldn't quite bring the ball under control. This is Zaldua. Gets away from Coutinho.
Yeah, Gomez did the right thing there, to be honest with you. That type of tight control is something that the ball was given to Coutinho in a space that he should have been able to hold it, turn and do something with it. The Brazilian didn't do his Portuguese colleague a whole lot of favours by messing that up because the position was good.
It's Andre Gomez again. Finds Sergio Roberto. Coutinho making a run. Sergio Roberto instead playing it back to Gomez. There's Vermaelen. Neatly picking out Semedo. Semedo combining with Dembele. It's played back to Rakitic. Now Vermaelen again. Sergio Roberto. Thomas Vermaelen plays the ball all the way back to the keeper. Marc-Andre ter Stegen. This is Rakitic. Dembele. Coolly handing it on to Messi. Messi setting up Semedo. Semedo couldn't quite make the cross. It's really well defended in the end by Garcia. Will be a corner. Lovely ball from Messi to Semedo there. Semedo's looking very good. To my mind, it's one of the best performances from him since signing for Barcelona.
Couldn't agree with you more. He looked comfortable and confident before his injury. Once he came back, he took a little bit of time to find his feet. Tonight, he's got wings.
It's Leo Messi. Dembele. Messi. Dembele again. Gets it onto the right foot. It's a good cross for Spaniard. Piqué there. The natural scorer doesn't quite manage to live up to his reputation. There's a smile on his face, but he knows he's missed one there. To give him his credit, Suarez missed it too, and maybe just put him off slightly.
Well, okay, that's a little bit of extra credit, given that he's offside as well, Jerry. But when I see him next, I am going to tease him mercilessly because he genuinely, listen, rather than just fooling around, he genuinely regards himself as a natural striker. His head is down. It's just that he's opened his thigh and his leg a little bit such that the ball's going upwards. He's tried so hard to get his head over the ball, and he'll be gutted to miss two chances tonight. I shouldn't find it funny, but I do.
I mean, and he hasn't even got the excuse that he was offside because the flag stayed down.
He's got no excuses whatsoever. Very good.
It's Marc-Andre ter Stegen, and now Thomas Vermaelen to play the ball out. He finds Andre Gomez back to Rakitic. Rakitic still. There's Semedo. Down the line for Dembele. These two linking up nicely on the right flank for Barca. Dembele, a bit hemmed in. Supported by Semedo. Now Messi. Messi showing his determination there. And Bovo stays down. The referee's whistle goes. And Messi goes across to apologise to Bovo. I think he did quite clearly catch him. But that's his competitive nature, isn't it?
It is. I don't think there's what they call mala leche here. I don't think there's badness in the I'm going to damage you. It's a little bit late. And it's the type of late arrival and flick of the toe that very often draws the ball away from a rival. And for that reason, I don't think we give, either you or I give special dispensation for fouls to Leo Messi.
Absolutely
But
not.
in that instance, it was wrong by about a millimetre. And I was pleased to see that neither Bovo nor the referee made a big deal about it.
Meanwhile, the second change to be made by Asier Gaetano, Darko Brasanac, the Serbian midfielder, attacking midfielder, has come on to replace Javi Eraso. Eraso, I think he's been really good for Leganes this season.
So right.
Came from
Couldn't agree
Athletic
more.
Club on a free transfer, but there's a strength and a solidity about his appearance on the pitch, playing in behind Amrabat normally as the corner swept in, headed clear by Vermeulen, and it's been another good hour's performance from Eraso today. Played back to Pichu Cuellar, under pressure from Dembélé. Dembélé starting to show signs of the pace that make him such a threat. Potentially, Beauvau unable to control that one from Elzar, who's there to sweep it up. Well, Andre Gomez, Sergio Roberto brought down by the captain.
He loves the gallop free, Sergio Roberto, doesn't he? As soon as he gets the ball under control, he'll touch the ball into space and gallop past the player. I think his pace is deceptive. Over sort of 3-4 metres, he's not a sprinter. You let him get going, as Madrid found to their cost in that unbelievable 3-2 game last season at the Bernabeu. Let Sergio Roberto go. He's got a great understanding of space, timing, dribbling. Fabulous, comfortable player on the ball.
Yeah, I agree. He's not a sprinter, but with the ball at his feet, there's pace there, and he looks comfortable
That's
playing
it.
on the left
That's the
flank
word.
of
Yeah.
defence as well.
Yeah, comfortable anywhere, I think.
Eventually, Semedo penalised for that challenge. Here's Ruben Perez. Leganes starting to look a little bit more ragged than in the first half. Although still, perhaps it's fair to say, with a certain healthy obsession with trying to link up with Claudio Beauvau. Oh, lovely touch from Coutinho to Sergio Roberto. Suarez making the run. Sergio Roberto sees it, of course. Suarez, well, it's all he can do to keep the ball in play and ends up side-footing it into Pichu Cuellar's path.
It's a great face, isn't it, Simon? That was the face of somebody who didn't want to give a rollick into a valuable teammate, but was not happy with the weight of the pass.
Superb touch from Coutinho to open up the opportunity for Sergio Roberto. As Gerard Piqué cuts it square to Ter Stegen, dropping back to collect it. It's Vermeulen, now Semedo. Rakitic. Gerard Piqué. Rakitic. Looking for Messi, advantage Silvas. Ramos, now Garcia. Finding Ruben Perez. Manages to find Gabriel again, but problems for Leganes to play the ball out now. It's good pressing from Barca. They play it back to Cuellar, who decides to spread it wide, and Barca win the ball back with a throw-in inside the Leganes half. Good work there from Barca off the ball, which we don't always mention.
It's true, and it is a factor in the way that Valverde has altered this side. It's a different kind of pressing in the Pep Guardiola era. It's not high up the pitch. It's in clusters in midfield. It's constant. It's trying to intercept rather than to press into mistakes. The one thing I'd say is that Leganes are working hard enough with Brasanac and then with Beauvau on, with enough time to make Barcelona sweat a little bit. The fact that Barca haven't looked like scoring again in this half too closely, it means that Asier Gaetano thinks that if they could score one goal, there would be nerves. This is still a team that's been changed in its personnel.
That's a good ball through for Coutinho to chase. The flag is up for offside. Coutinho getting there ahead of Cuellar.
I think the decision was clear for the linesman, and all I'm postulating here I think we're right that it's a clear-cut decision. Garitano believes that there's definitely life in this game, as we see Paulinho falling over.
And Dennis Suarez and Jordi Alba enjoying it too. That's
Jordi Alba's free to take the mickey out of Paulinho, but you see that Dennis Suarez has a little laugh without actually pointing. And Suarez is the guy who said, "I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. Do what you want to me. I'm going to stay here and succeed." I'm not convinced that he will, but I do admire his attitude.
the cross there from Darko Brasanac, going directly out for a throw, which Semedo will take. Serious look on the face of Asier Garitano. But yeah, I completely agree with you, Graham. There's no way he's given this game up for dead. And Barcelona have to maintain their concentration here. There's a certain period in the second halves of games in the Camp Nou where there's what is called here a run, a kind of murmuring, slight discontent, nervousness goes around the stadium, especially if the rivals, who are almost always humbler clubs than Barcelona, more modest clubs, if they look like they can get into the game, and Asier Garitano knows a goal in the next 5 or 10 minutes, and this can turn sour for Barcelona very quickly.
I think what you're talking about is that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Is this game management from Barca, or is this them being stifled and looking about to be vulnerable?
It's Darko Brasanac, whips the cross in, it's a good one, and Elzar greeting it right on the penalty spot, unable to direct the header inside the post.
Now, it's a really, really poor effort from a guy who's left us unimpressed tonight, because given his position, he can definitely, at minimum, test the German keeper. But this is what I was talking about. Are we, and I sometimes admit to finding it confusing, are we watching a Barca team, champions-elect, conserving energy brilliantly and making sure that when it comes to really crucial games, there's an impending cup final just around the corner, there's a trip to Rome where the players all agree it's not a finished game yet?
Lovely play from Coutinho, linking with Suarez. It's well defended by Ciobas, who hooks the ball clear only as far as Rakitic. Now Sergio Roberto. Rakitic again is brought down by Darko Brasanac. Free kick to Barcelona.
And now effectively, the answer comes that Barcelona are really not playing with the left back. Sergio Roberto has now been given total liberty almost throughout this second half to play like
and here he's been spotted. He made the run. It was well defended by Zaldúa in the end. The referee getting in Gabriel's way. It fell to Messi. Suarez can't quite bring it under control. Gomez there to sweep up the trouble. Vermaelen looking for Coutinho. Coutinho holding that one up so brilliantly. Does well to find Sergio Roberto. Takes on a man too many. Clashes into Perez and goes down. That's a good play from Ramos. Taking a knock there. Raul Garcia. Plenty of options here. Here's Elzar. There's a chance. It takes the deflection. It's 2-1. You can hear the groans from the fans. And that situation we were saying could happen has happened. It's Barcelona 2. Leganes 1. The goal scored by Nabil Elzar.
The first thing I say, it would be too strong to use the remark, it's been coming. Because out and out saying that a goal has been on the cards just would be exaggerating. However, what I was looking at time and time again is that the players understood exactly what their manager was asking of them, which was to play flat out for a draw or a win in this instance. Darko coming on has made a difference, and Elzar wasn't picked up. You and I saw the run, there was tons of space. At that point, he still has to strike it well. I think it maybe gets a gentle help home past Stegen, but the shot is good enough. He has time. The rest of the game with his headers, his passing, he's looked imprecise. That was precision defined, and Barcelona have allowed their opponents back into this game.
Well, we're into the final quarter of the game, and it's going to be a final quarter with a certain amount of nerves around the Camp Nou. Let's see how the players respond to that on the pitch. Dembélé immediately with some lovely skill, but the cross is well defended. The ball falling here for Gomez. Now Messi, I think that's a miscued shot rather than an overhit cross to Suarez.
And if we're talking about where we do or don't give credit, as we see Jordi Alba being punished for laughing at his falling Brazilian colleague, is that it was Messi pressing to win the ball back. And this is worth commenting on. The captain, who's out despite needing the rest, Alba, who, as you pointed out, is an oversaturated player, as we look at just that clever look up, the slide rule pass, Kelzar, and there is a bump. There is a bump off Sergio Roberto that does not help Ter Stegen, to the extent the German is maybe going to fingertip it if it doesn't come off the heel of the Catalan. But Valverde knows this weekend's victory is utterly vital, despite the point gap. It's the Madrid derby tomorrow, which you're going to enjoy with Quinton Fortune. The point of that is that there is a very firm chance that the reigning champions Madrid could take points of Atleti and virtually seal this for the Catalans if this 2-1 lead is converted into 3 points.
Well, with 20 minutes to go, you would certainly have to accept that Barcelona is still in the driving seat. It's still theirs to lose rather than perhaps Leganes' to win. But certainly the fans in the Camp Nou, and it's a little bit of a chilly evening in Barcelona. We'll expect to see a little bit more spark in the remaining 20 minutes than we've seen since the restart. Leganes certainly looking much more comfortable now. Bustinza driving forward. That one's intercepted by Semedo, fails to get it away. Alzar battling forward, it falls for Coutinho. He's obstructed there, it seems. Responds with the arms out, and it's going to be a free kick.
Third or fourth time tonight. Coutinho learned a lot of strength, earned a lot of top body physique from his time in the Premier League. 3 or 4 times tonight he's complained about things where he has not been fouled and he's just felt hard done by. And the referee's not going to buy that under any circumstances. Coutinho needs to look to himself.
Garcia Garitano will be much happier now than he was as the players trooped off the pitch at half-time. And here's an opportunity from a set piece. Swung in towards the area by Omar Ramos. It was dealt with by the defence. Lovely touch by Messi. Rakitic over the top. And Ramos is there to turn it all the way back to Pichu Cuellar.
Fantastic. That's like a mouse making an elephant, screaming fright. Messi had to do 2 jumps against a guy who's a foot taller than him, but he managed it. There's nothing that's not in his locker. Fantastic. And what's more, we've both seen games where match management includes him walking through the second half. He's fully engaged, like Valverde, in saying this is a red alert moment. That might sound ridiculous with the point gap, but this is a red alert moment if Valverde and Messi want to win the title, which is the reason that we're looking at Jordi Alba coming on, when clearly the Basque coach didn't want to have to use him if he didn't have to.
Well, anybody who's been following Barcelona over the years knows just how dangerous this situation can be playing at home. And it's almost always the same. You take a 2-0 lead, you think it's practically done and dusted. They pull one back. Here's Messi, and it's saved by Cuellar. Was he in or was he out of the area? Play on. Messi gets into the box. Lovely footwork, and just ran out of anywhere to go. Cuellar congratulated by Messi there, and that shows this man's top sporting commitment. No, because he knows that Cuellar does well. And there it is.
Yeah, fantastic. Because Leo Messi's initial appeal is because he's not sure and he wants to gain an edge. But once he comes back and this sort of low fives the keeper, you're right. That's a mark of his greatness. Sporting honesty. Well done, keeper. In a disappointing moment for Messi. And he abandoned any kind of haranguing the referee, which we see from almost every modern striker.
Absolutely, yeah. No, that reminds me of the quality of another legend of the game, Portugal's Eusebio, congratulating Alex Stepney for stopping him
in
scoring the
1968
winning goal in the 68 European Cup final at Wembley, and stopping and insisting on shaking his hand. That's the kind of reaction we've just seen from Leo Messi as Jordi Alba comes on to replace Sergio Roberto for the final 16 minutes. What I was about to say before that Messi-Cuellar incident, it's usually this situation, isn't it? 2-0 to Barcelona.
Yeah.
People think the job's done. The rival pulls one back. And then there's some kind of nervous tension that goes around the ground that sometimes seems almost contagious. and it ends up creeping into the players' feet on the pitch.
It's very evidently for two reasons. Number one, when any group of footballers try to manage a situation and it runs out of the control, it undermines them. When you're going flat out and you win it, you know, a toppy, they say, giving everything for 90 minutes, that's a completely different phenomenon, completely different sensation. And secondly, you name the crowd. The crowd are drip-fed on success. Any kind of glitch whatsoever, and they're like, oh, well, what's happening here? Why aren't we ahead? And you hear the muttering, and that transmits to the players. Yeah, crisis, yeah.
We have to remember this team's still unbeaten in Laliga Santander this season, and this is round 31. So they haven't been doing too badly so far, it must be said. Semedo winning that. Collected by Perez. Jordi Alba with his first touch. It's a direct one to Messi, of course. Messi pulled back. The referee trying to wave play on, and Messi trying to play on. That is absolutely typical of Leo Messi. He doesn't want to go down. He doesn't want the foul. He's not interested in the yellow card for the rival. He wants the ball at his feet and progression.
He does all of that, and I think he loses his temper here because when this ball goes dead, he kicks it right at Perez, and little wonder he gets annoyed. Yeah, he wants to play on.
There's an argument he should have been sent off for getting a yellow card and then a yellow card because he made the same foul.
There were two different actions. You're absolutely right. Listen, I don't want to drop names out. I asked Messi, doesn't this annoy you? He said, if it's not in the first 4 or 5 minutes of a game, I get so lost in the game that I haven't got time to react.
Piqué over the top, seeking to link with Semedo. It came off Raul Garcia. It's a Barcelona throw-in. Semedo to take it. Dembele offers the option, struggles to hold on to it, fights back, and picks out Thomas Vermaelen. Again, a smattering of applause for Dembele there. Alba back to Vermaelen, under pressure from Darko. It's given away by Gomez. In the end, it's a throw to Barcelona, though, as Asier Gaetano prepares his third and final change of the evening. About to come on is Miguel Angel Guerrero. Let's see who he replaces. The striker scored 6 goals for Sporting Gijón last season, and let's see if he can help get Leganes a share of the points. Coutinho to Suarez. The whistle goes for the challenge on the Brazilian. Another free kick. No, it's the challenge by the Brazilian.
Yeah.
This is the yellow card.
You know, apart from that laser-driven pass for the first goal, he has been over-egging, over-indulging in dribbles all night. We saw him in a fit of pique a couple of minutes ago when he didn't get the foul, barging his opponent over. The boot's left in there, the studs are left in there. That's the kind of thing that does your metatarsal. Yellow card is more than enough. But for the second week in a row, Coutinho, I look at it and I think, well, there's a lot of growing up to do. There's a lot of learning to do. There's Messi's recent assailant shows anger at having been the one that's been punished by a booking and a substitution.
Ruben Perez showing absolute fury there in the Leganes dugout. He's been replaced by Guerrero for these final 12 minutes plus.
Gaetano wants the points, huh? Every move, every substitution has been about we're still in this.
They're very much in it now, and Ernesto Valverde is well aware of that. How do the players react? Again, at the moment, it's Leganes showing the battle. Guerrero winning the first loose ball since coming onto the pitch. And Jordi Alba there with the transfer, a firm one indeed by Zaldua. Alba stays down.
It's a card. It has to be a card from the referee. Lunging in, studs up, late. No question about the booking.
Yellow card for Joseba Zaldua. Apologises to Jordi Alba for that challenge.
His expression is 5 minutes. I was on the touchline having fun with Suarez.
I mean, Jordi Alba is fortunate there because Zaldua does get the ball, goes in with the studs up. Clearly a yellow card challenge, but no major harm done for Alba as Dembele goes down under the challenge of Raul Garcia.
First time all night I felt sorry for him, Simon. I'm thinking absolute full flight when you got a nudge like that, it's a foul.
I agree. Here's the goal from Elzar, which gets Leganes back in the game, and you'll see here the little deflection off the heel of Sergio Roberto. And I agree with you, I think Ter Stegen had that one covered. Full credit to Elzar and Leganes, though. Full credit to the technology which allows those spectacular images of Leganes' goal. Leo Messi, there's something on here. Still Messi, and I think probably another of those cases of Messi taking the wrong decision on that occasion. He had Dembele completely free wide to his right as this is collected by Elzar. Now Guerrero. Here's Gabriel Bovo. And Ivan Rakitic to the rescue. He's pulled down. Free kick. It's quickly taken. Here's Messi. Now Dembele onside. Suarez in the middle. It's Suarez. And that is brilliantly defended. Suarez with a wry smile on his face. But that was an absolutely crucial interception. Messi's pass to Dembele. Raul Garcia trying to block it. Not even sure he actually gets the touch, or does he? The defender. I think maybe he didn't.
The thing is about intent. Do you put your opponent off if you can't touch it? As the captain brings volcanic applause from his appreciative audience who wanted to stay and not move to China. He was like probably summed up by not making it to the end of the 90 minutes, I would say. And twice now, I absolutely back what you said. We've seen two fantastic pieces of defending from Leganes, completely different. Because the sliding in tackle on Messi was like somebody who'd seen. I know what this drifting motion of Messi does, where he's coming across and he looks like he might be looking for a pass, and what he's going to do is go outside my right side. And the weight before the sliding tackle goes in was just exquisite.
So Leganes still in this. It's 2-1. We're into the last 10 minutes. First touch for Iniesta. Trying to bully him from behind there is Zaldua. Play continues. Iniesta seeking Suarez.
Ooh la la.
Suarez going through that one.
I mean, again, I don't think there's any bad intentional damage there, but that's a booking. He's lost control, he's gone right through his opponent. I mean, it's all very well accepting no harm, no foul, but look at this.
Yeah, I think he slipped.
Because he's slipping, maybe it allows the referee to say...
I think seeing the second replay clearly loses his balance, and in fact makes a gesture with his hand to Bustinza as if to say, I slipped. It's Bovo. Well, the shot off target, and I think you can probably hear that run we were talking about.
And Simon, the thing is that the players, the 14 players that Garitano has used are all absolutely in synchronization with him. They all think they're equals to the Champions Elect. They all think that there are points up for grabs here. And when you're a coach and you can count on every one of your guys, those who start, those who come on, to think the same as you and have the same ambition as you and to not pretend to show for the ball, but to want it and then want to do damage with it. That's why we said at half-time this was competitive. We didn't believe it was done. It's so refreshing to see.
Messi running into trouble. Here's Garcia. Played back to Siovas. He's seeking Zaldua. Zaldua looking for directness here. He's overhit that, and I think fabricates a possible foul from Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba having a word with the linesman. It's the linesman who spotted it rather than the referee. He sees a yellow card for it. Live, I have to say, it didn't look like a foul. Jordi Alba disagrees. That doesn't necessarily mean anything.
A lot of poison eyes going on. Valverde looking up at the scoreboard to look at the time left. Alba saying, linesman, I'm getting booked because of you. He raises his arm, fouls enough, card looks too heavy. I go back to looking at Valverde's eyes. He looked up at that giant scoreboard and said, how much more of this have we got?
Well, the answer is 6 minutes plus stoppage time. It's a free kick which Omar Ramos is going to put into the box. It's headed clear, I think, by Luis Suarez again, as always. Is Rakitic. And now Dembele with a bit of space. Rakitic following him. Suarez is there too. Dembele cutting inside, thought about shooting, lays it off Rakitic. Rakitic says, a yard in front of me, not half a yard behind me, please. Here's Darko, down he goes in the centre circle. Play on as Gerard Piqué underhits the pass to Messi. Here's Ramos. Gabriel. Well, nobody was expecting that. 3 or 4 Leganes players making little runs to look for the ball. It's whipped in by Zaldua and horribly overhit. It'll be a goal kick.
It's just awful, and his teammates deserve to look at him and say, what the heck were you playing at there? We are in this game. Barcelona are being stretched. That moment when Piqué gave the ball away and underhit his pass to Messi, there's a really big chance for the cucumber farmers, if you will allow me, to break and do damage again. And they know that Barcelona are stretched. And this last 10 minutes has begun to look and feel a little bit like the second half against Sevilla when as Barcelona pushed forward. They were turned time and time again, and Piqué and Titi were being asked to run and recuperate. There's still time for Leganes in this game if they truly believe and are effective with their passing.
Well, Garcia disappointed that the throw-in has been given to Barcelona there. I think I have to agree with him. A little bit fortunate there, perhaps, Dembele. Piqué picks out Thomas Vermaelen. Now Jordi Alba. Good ball, Suarez leaving it for Leo Messi. Dembele in massive space to his right. Messi finding Suarez, the ball cut back by Suarez, and I think that's overcomplicating things there between the two of them.
It may be, but one of the things that's absolutely clear is that Dembele should have anticipated the possibility that goes through to the back post. The fact that he couldn't reach it was partly culpable by him.
Rakitic. Good run from Semedo. Rakitic aware of it. Semedo bringing the ball under the control, returns it to Rakitic. Dembele didn't want to shoot, it falls through to Messi! Leo Messi, it's not given. Oh yes it is. It's the Messi hat-trick. It's 3-1 and Leo Messi once again saving the day for Football Club Barcelona.
Simon, I have to compliment you. It's obvious to compliment Messi. Another hat-trick. I've lost count of how many. He's now equal at the top of the Golden Boot. But you talked about Semedo learning the Barca way. Now, when he learns the Barca way, that's based on something that Cruyff and Charlie Rexach introduced in 1988. And they always said, when a wide man gets to the edge and doesn't put it in, the crowd moan. But we taught them. Semedo, after the ball from Rakitic, is wide, is free, and is able to cross, but there's nobody there. What he does is something that in the old days would have looked as being something that was negative. He turns, he stops, he looks for Rakitic again, he gives it back to him. That was a Barca decision. That was a Cruyff decision, that was a Guardiola decision. You talked about the young Portuguese fullback learning, and that's at the root of Messi scoring that goal. As the ball comes in, the flick is such that, okay, all the Leganes players, including the goalkeeper, saying to the referee, was there a handball there? He gets to it ahead of Cuellar when I think Cuellar probably had a slight advantage. It's 3 points. It's a vital goal for the nervous Valverde and his team. But I go back to Semedo. Semedo did something really, really smart there.
I'm going to go back to Leo Messi and say, how on earth did he manage to lob Picho Cuellar there? I mean, Cuellar is on the ball. It's not as if there's a 2-yard difference between them. As another change to be made, Ousmane Dembele replaced for the closing minutes by Denis Suarez.
Your point's great. I mean, how many times do we say, how does he do this or that or the next thing? But that was particularly, I suppose it's a magic circle. You put on the white gloves, you reach into the hat and the rabbit comes out and you go, well, how?
I mean, the logical thing is to hit it low under the keeper, isn't it? But I mean, you've got Cuellar, arms raised, jumping, literally 10 centimetres away from you. How can you lob him? I don't understand the science.
Ter Stegen to the rescue. Simon, that saved a goal.
Well, Leganes responding well. Here's Gabriel, lovely turn to get away from Piqué. Can he find a pass? Buffon struggling, brilliantly defended by Thomas Vermaelen.
Simon Hanley, you've had a night. Vermaelen backing up your words with a punch, exactly as Semedo backed up your words with a punch. Fabulous goal-saving interception from the Belgian.
Well, full credit to Leganes. We're in the final minutes of this. They've just gone 3-1 down, having built their hopes up throughout a brilliantly performed second half from the side from the south of Madrid. And with 3-1 on the scoreboard, they know it's all over by the shouting, but they haven't given up, and they're causing Barca all kinds of problems. Lovely skill from Iniesta there. The ball's still in place. Suarez goes down under the challenge from Bustinza. Once again, these two having a tremendous fight out there. Zar getting away from Jordi Alba. There's this lovely turn from Gabriel. And there's the ball from Vermaelen.
Absolutely brilliant. What a terrific game of football tonight.
Absolutely, and full credit to the pepineros, or as Graham Hunter prefers to call them, the cucumber farmers, and I can guarantee that is the literal translation of the nickname of this side. Very much enjoying their second season in the top flight. Lovely ball over the top for Alba from Iniesta. Alba wins the corner.
You know, it's the Masters weekend, and I know that you're an addict of what's happening. But that Iniesta's little backspin, that's something that would keep you on the ninth green instead of going into the water. He just put it looked too long, and then backspin put it into Alba's path. Beautiful.
Absolutely. If I could chip as well as Andres Iniesta can pass, my handicap would go right down. Here is Iniesta. Now Messi. Jordi Alba. And there's another one. It's called a flop. Elzar down the line. And there to greet it. Jordi Alba. 3 minutes have been added. All of them's already over.
It's a Barca story, but you know, I talked about Garitano saying I'm not going to renew unless the club are going to invest in more quality. And who have been watching this closely again tonight are the decision makers at Athletic Club. I do not believe that Zaganda will stay on after this summer. There's a beauty parade of candidates, but Garitano is one of them. He's a Basque coach. He's earned the right to be considered as a potential next coach for Athletic. I think he probably desires to stay at Leganes, but they'll have been looking. Those who covet him will have looked at this tonight and say everything about it has been 5-star.
There's a good run there from Elzar, just running out of steam before he could get the shot off. Messi combining there with Denis Suarez. It was set up basically by Gomez. There's a deflection. It goes through to Pichuquea as we're just about to enter the final minutes of proceedings here today at the Camp Nou.
He looks exhausted, the little maestro. The headlines are going to be his, the 3 points are his, the hat-trick is his. But he looks tired.
Well, at the end of the day, Valverde's been justified in his inclusion, hasn't he? Because it's Messi that's beaten them, really, with the hat-trick. So he was definitely required this evening. As Gerard Piqué clears. Messi gets the touch. Bustinza, a little bit of a wayward one. It falls to Suarez. The offense chasing. So too is Zaldua doing really well there. Suarez to find Iniesta, and the natural-born goalman for the third time this evening.
You know,
failing to control that. And I don't think Valverde's particularly pleased.
No.
He did the fourth.
The game's won, there's 15 seconds left. He's got a big role to play in Rome in midweek. But because he's missed I shouldn't be laughing, Simon. But because he's missed 2 sitters during the game, there was Piqué doing a Linford Christie sprint up the pitch to try and finish his night with a goal, which is daft.
The final whistle goes at 3-1 to Football Club Barcelona. They remain unbeaten.